Hey there, amazing English learners. Welcome back to Epic English Story, the channel where ordinary people become extraordinary English speakers through the power of real transformation stories. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and join our incredible community of dreamers who refuse to let language barriers stop them from achieving greatness. I'm your host, and today I'm sharing a story that will change how you think about learning English forever. This isn't just another tutorial or grammar lesson. This is the raw, unfiltered journey of someone who went from complete English failure to landing a $5,000 per month dream job in just 5 months. But before we dive in, let me ask you something. Have you ever felt completely powerless because you couldn't express yourself in English? Have you ever lost an opportunity simply because words failed you when you needed them most? If you're nodding your head right now, this story is for you. What you're about to hear isn't theory. It's a proven blueprint that has transformed thousands of lives in our epic English story community. So grab your notebook, get comfortable, and prepare to discover the exact system that can change your life forever. Chapter 1. The Crushing Defeat That Changed Everything. Picture this. You're sitting in front of your computer, hands trembling, heart racing like a Formula One car. 3 native English speakers are staring at you through the screen, waiting for your answer. This was my reality 5 months ago, and it nearly destroyed my dreams forever. My name is Jake, and I'm about to share the most transformative journey of my life. 5 months ago, I couldn't string together a simple English sentence without my brain short-circuiting. Today, I'm working at my dream company in Silicon Valley, earning more money than I ever imagined possible. But this story isn't just about me. It's about you, sitting there right now, wondering if you'll ever break free from the prison of language barriers. The interview that shattered my world happened on a Tuesday morning. I had spent years mastering software engineering, coding until my eyes burned, sacrificing social life for technical excellence. I was finally selected for an interview at one of the biggest tech companies in America. The salary? Life-changing. The opportunity? Everything I had ever wanted. But when those interviewers started speaking, it felt like someone had put their voices on fast forward. Their words became a blur of incomprehensible sounds. When they asked me to introduce myself, my mind went completely blank. I stammered like a broken machine. Yes, I'm on software. I do coding. A mini project's good. The silence that followed felt like a knife twisting in my chest. I could see the disappointment in their eyes, the polite smiles that screamed, "Next candidate, please." 20 minutes later, I received the rejection email. Not because I lacked technical skills, but because I couldn't communicate in a language that opens doors to the world. That night, I made a promise to myself that would change everything. I would master English, and I would do it faster than anyone thought possible. Little did I know that this crushing defeat would become the catalyst for the most incredible transformation of my life. Chapter 2. Breaking the Traditional Learning Prison. Most people's first instinct when learning English is throwing money at expensive courses, believing that price equals quality. I had already fallen into this trap once before, spending 3 months and hundreds of dollars on an online English class that taught me nothing but how to hate grammar rules. The teacher made me memorize endless vocabulary lists that I forgot within days. She drilled grammar exercises into my brain like a military sergeant, making me recite rules that meant nothing in real conversations. After 3 months of this torture, I still couldn't order coffee without panicking. That's when I realized the biggest lie in language learning, that you need perfect grammar and thousands of vocabulary words before you can speak. This lie keeps millions of people trapped in the study phase forever, never actually using the language they're trying to learn. Instead of following the traditional path, I decided to hack the system. I would focus on what actually mattered, communication, not perfection. I would train my mouth, not just my mind. I would think like a child learning their first language, not like a student memorizing for an exam. The first breakthrough came when I created my survival sentence system. I sat down and asked myself a simple question: what do I actually need to say every single day? I wrote down 50 sentences that would cover 80% of my daily interactions. Simple phrases like, "How was your day? Can you repeat that? I need help with this," and "Thank you so much." Every morning, I would read these 50 sentences out loud 10 times. Not once, not twice, but 10 full repetitions. My tongue felt awkward at first, like it was learning a new dance. But after just 5 days, something magical happened. These sentences became automatic. They flowed from my mouth without conscious thought. But here's where most people stop. They practice sentences in isolation and wonder why they can't have real conversations. I took it further. I started talking to myself in English every single day, describing everything I did. In the shower, I'm washing my hair. The water is warm. I feel relaxed. While cooking, I'm making eggs. They smell delicious. I love breakfast. At first, I felt ridiculous talking to myself like a crazy person. But then I realized this was my private training ground where no one could judge me, where I could make mistakes without embarrassment. Within 1 week, my brain started switching from Portuguese to English automatically. Chapter 3. The Question and Answer Revolution. After 15 days of basic sentence training, I was ready for the next level. I could say simple things without translating in my head, but I wanted more. I wanted to have real conversations, to understand native speakers at full speed, to express complex thoughts without hesitation. That's when I discovered the method that would accelerate my progress beyond anything I had imagined. The question and answer revolution. This technique is so simple that most people overlook it, yet so powerful that it can transform your speaking ability in weeks. Here's how it works. I would ask myself a question in English, then answer it immediately without thinking too much. But here's the twist. I would answer the same question multiple times, each time adding more details, more complexity, more natural flow. For example, I'd start with, "What did you do today?" My first answer would be basic, "I worked." But I wouldn't stop there. I'd answer again, "I worked on my project." Then again, "I worked on my project for 3 hours." Then, "I worked on my project for 3 hours, then took a coffee break." And finally, "I worked on my project for 3 hours, then took a coffee break." This exercise trained my brain to think in English patterns, to build sentences naturally, to speak without the painful pauses that make conversations awkward. I did this for 30 minutes every day, and within 2 weeks, my speaking speed improved dramatically. But speed without clarity is useless. That's why I also implemented the echo technique for pronunciation. I would find clips from movies, YouTube videos, or podcasts where native speakers said something interesting. I'd listen to one sentence, pause, then repeat it exactly. Same speed, same tone, same emotion. One of my favorite practice sentences came from a movie. "I don't know what you're talking about." I must have repeated this sentence 50 times until my voice matched the actors perfectly. Another came from a podcast. "It was a beautiful day, so I decided to go for a walk." These weren't just pronunciation exercises. They were training my mouth to move like a native speaker's. After 1 month of this intensive practice, something incredible happened. Native speakers started complimenting my pronunciation. They said I sounded natural, almost like I had lived in an English-speaking country. But I had never left Brazil. I had simply trained my ear and mouth with laser-focused precision. The transformation was becoming real, but the biggest breakthrough was still ahead. Chapter 4. Thinking like a native speaker. The most dangerous trap in language learning is translation thinking. When you hear English, you translate it to your native language. When you want to speak, you think in your native language first, then translate to English. This makes everything slow, unnatural, and exhausting. I knew I had to rewire my brain completely. I had to start thinking in English, not just speaking it. This sounds impossible, but I'm about to show you exactly how I did it, step by step. First, I started describing everything around me in English, but only in my mind. When I walked outside, I would think the sky is blue, the weather is hot, that woman is wearing a red dress, the traffic is heavy today. This constant internal narration trained my brain to process the world in English first, not Portuguese. Second, I started asking myself questions and answering them mentally in English throughout the day. What am I doing right now? I'm sitting at my desk, drinking coffee, and working on my project. How do I feel? I feel focused and motivated. This created English thought patterns in my brain. Third, I began writing a daily journal in English. Every night, I would write about my day, my thoughts, my feelings, all in English. At first, my writing was childish. Today was good. I worked. I ate pizza. I was tired, but I forced myself to write more each day. Within a month, I was writing complex paragraphs about my dreams, fears, and plans for the future. But the real breakthrough came when I discovered the story method for vocabulary. Instead of memorizing word lists like a robot, I would take 5 new words every day and create a short story using all of them. Then I would read this story out loud 10 times and try to use these words in real conversations. For example, if my 5 words were excited, invitation, party, arrive, and surprise, I would create this story. I was very excited because I received an invitation to a big party. When I arrived at the party, I got a huge surprise. It was my own birthday party. This method made vocabulary stick in my memory like glue because the words had context, emotion, and meaning. After 3 months of this intensive brain rewiring, something magical happened. I stopped translating completely. English words started appearing in my mind directly, without passing through Portuguese first. I was finally thinking like a native speaker. Chapter 5, The Final Breakthrough. Month 4 was when everything clicked into place. I had built a strong foundation of automatic sentences, natural pronunciation, and English thinking patterns. Now it was time for the ultimate test, real conversations with native speakers. But I was terrified. What if they couldn't understand me? What if I froze up like in that disastrous job interview? What if all my practice meant nothing in real-world situations? I decided to prepare strategically. I identified 10 common conversation topics that come up in almost every interaction: work, family, hobbies, food, travel, weather, movies, books, current events, and future plans. For each topic, I prepared not just answers, but natural follow-up questions and comments. Instead of memorizing scripts, I practiced flexible thinking. If someone asked about my work, I could talk about my current project, my career goals, the challenges I face, and what I love about my field. If they asked about my hobbies, I could discuss why I enjoy them, how I got started, and what I've learned from them. The breakthrough moment came when I joined an online English conversation group. My hand was shaking as I entered the virtual room with people from America, Canada, Australia, and the UK. But when I started speaking, something incredible happened. The words flowed naturally. I didn't hesitate. I didn't translate. I was having real conversations about real topics with real people. They understood me perfectly. They laughed at my jokes. They asked me questions about Brazil and seemed genuinely interested in my answers. For the first time in my life, I felt like an equal in an English conversation, not a struggling foreigner trying to keep up. But the real test was still coming. Another job interview at the same company that had rejected me 5 months earlier. Chapter 6, The Sweet Taste of Victory. 5 months after that crushing rejection, I was sitting in front of the same computer about to have another interview with the same company. But this time, I was a completely different person. I wasn't the Jake who stumbled over simple sentences. I was confident, prepared, and fluent. The interviewer started speaking, and instead of panic, I felt calm focus. I understood every word clearly. When they asked me to introduce myself, I delivered a smooth, confident response about my background, my passion for software engineering, and my excitement about the opportunity. We talked about technical challenges, project management, team collaboration, and industry trends. I didn't just answer their questions. I asked thoughtful questions of my own. I told stories about problems I had solved and innovations I had implemented. The conversation flowed naturally, like I was talking to colleagues, not interrogators. 45 minutes later, the interview ended with smiles and positive energy. I could see in their eyes that they were impressed not just with my English, but with my confidence and communication skills. 3 days later, my phone rang. "Jake, congratulations. You got the job. Your starting salary will be $5,000 per month." I stood there holding the phone, unable to believe what I was hearing. $5,000 per month. More money than I had ever imagined earning. The same company that had rejected me for poor English skills now wanted to pay me a premium salary. That night, I called my parents with tears streaming down my face. "Mom, Dad, I did it. I got my dream job. My mother started crying on the other end of the phone. My father, who rarely shows emotion, simply said, "We always knew you could do it, son." With my first paycheck, I bought my father a beautiful watch he had always wanted but never bought for himself. For my mother, I bought a gold necklace to thank her for all the sacrifices she had made for our family. When I gave them these gifts, they tried to refuse, but I insisted. This is my way of saying thank you for believing in me when I didn't believe in myself. Chapter 7. The Blueprint for Your Transformation. Now I want to share the exact blueprint that took me from complete beginner to fluent speaker in just 5 months. These aren't theoretical concepts. They're battle-tested strategies that work in the real world. Mindset revolution. The first and most crucial step is changing your beliefs about English learning. Stop saying, "I'm bad at English," and start saying, "I'm improving every day." Stop thinking English is impossibly difficult and start seeing it as a skill you can master like any other. Your mindset determines your results more than any technique or method. English immersion without travel. You don't need to move to America or England to surround yourself with English. Change your phone's language to English. Watch only English content on YouTube and Netflix. Listen to English podcasts during commutes. Follow English-speaking influencers on social media. Make English a constant presence in your daily life. The fear-killing strategy. Most people know more English than they realize, but fear stops them from speaking. I force myself to speak English in low-pressure situations first. I talked to shopkeepers, asked strangers for directions, and ordered food in English. Each small success built my confidence for bigger challenges. Active listening revolution. Don't just listen to English passively like background music. Practice active listening by shadowing native speakers. Play a video, pause after each sentence, and repeat it with the same pronunciation and rhythm. This trains both your ear and your mouth simultaneously. Smart vocabulary building. Forget boring word lists. Learn vocabulary in context through stories, conversations, and real situations. Focus on phrases and expressions, not individual words. Instead of memorizing happy, learn, "I'm so happy to see you, and that makes me really happy." Grammar through usage. Don't waste time memorizing grammar rules from textbooks. Learn grammar naturally by listening to how native speakers actually talk. When you make a mistake, notice it, correct it, and move on. Grammar is a tool for communication, not an academic subject. Consistency over perfection. Don't wait until you're perfect to start speaking. Start from day one, even if you only know 10 words. Make a commitment to do something in English every single day, even if it's just for 5 minutes. Small daily actions create massive long-term results. Chapter 8. Your epic transformation starts now. As I finish writing this story, I want you to imagine yourself 6 months from now. Picture yourself speaking English confidently, getting the promotion you've always wanted, traveling the world without language barriers, making friends from different countries, accessing opportunities that seemed impossible before. This vision isn't a fantasy. It's your future reality if you commit to the journey. The same transformation that happened to me can happen to you, but only if you take action today, not tomorrow, not next week, not next month. I know the journey seems overwhelming. I know you're probably thinking, "This worked for Jake, but my situation is different. I'm too old, too busy, too far behind." Let me tell you something. These are not facts, they're excuses. The only difference between people who become fluent and people who stay stuck is action. Every expert was once a beginner. Every fluent speaker was once afraid to open their mouth. Every success story started with someone who decided that their dreams were worth more than their fears. The pain of discipline weighs ounces, but the pain of regret weighs tons. 5 months from now, you'll either be celebrating your English breakthrough or making the same excuses you're making today. The choice is entirely yours. Your epic English transformation starts the moment you close this story and speak your first English sentence out loud. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Don't wait for more time. Don't wait for motivation. Start now. Start messy. Start scared, but start. The world is waiting to hear your voice. Your dreams are waiting for you to claim them. Your future self is counting on the decision you make right now. Welcome to Epic English Story, where ordinary people become extraordinary English speakers. Your adventure begins today.